Welcome, clobberers, to Clobberin Times issue number, 316 on YouTube and 1016 overall. And welcome to a wild card Wednesday night here on the Clobberin Times. Good to see you, my friends, those who are here. And to everyone else, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Thank you all for being here so much. It's good to see you, buddies. I can't really tell who is here or not. So what I'll do is just start saying hello to whoever names I see in the chat. The Comic Relief Crusader, you were first and second, buddy. Welcome. Thank you for being here. J-Man, brother, what's up? What's going on, J-Man? Good to see you, buddy. I hope you were doing well, man. How's it hanging with you and the J-Man gang over there, and Sean and Steven? Hope you're all doing well. Phantom Outsider, what's up, bro? Good to see you, buddy. D. Bud Martin, the man of iron, my friend. Thank you for being here. Eric Koo, the bronze wrencher of bronze. What's up, Eric? I hope you're feeling better, buddy. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for being here tonight. I think that's all whom we have here at the moment, but any other friends who pop in, we shall definitely acknowledge them on this crowded Wednesday night. Looks like a lot of people are just threw them on some streams there. Oh my goodness, the lovely Sherry baby. One day I'm gonna just lower my voice as many octaves as I can and sing that song. But Sherry, my dear, thank you for popping in. It is lovely to see your beautiful face, and we appreciate you, and I hope that you are doing well. Again, Wildcard Wednesday night, not a whole lot really planned, no big plans. Just gonna maybe just kind of hang out with you all and just, talk back and forth a little bit. I'll do a little show note or two first, of course. I want to thank the wonderful Purple Valkyrie for hanging out with me on Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. That was an absolutely just had a fantastic time. She is, of course, amazing. And cannot wait to hang out with her again tomorrow night, of course, as always. It is, it's that, of course, but that's tonight. Tomorrow night is Clobby's Clubhouse with my wonderful First Officer, Commander R.M. Briggs, and their Chief Engineer, Mark D. And then Saturday night, same Trek time, same Trek channel. Saturday night, Star Trek. We are starting up the 6th season. 4 more episodes to go in our continuing, ongoing mission to review all of real Star Trek, the 735 Club. Yes, that is right, folks. 66 through 05. Expect no substitutes. We're only reviewing the real thing, and we got quite a ways to go. So, what a time we have on that. And again, Monday night we're not exactly sure how we're going to do it, but Monday night we will be paying tribute to our great friend Mark C., who our Comics Monday Night Show was named after, because it has been about a year since his tragic passing. And so we're going to do something. We'll talk comics and things like that as always, but we'll pay tribute to him in some fashion. Just not precisely sure how I'm going to do that yet. Let's see, other friends have popped in. Steve Ernest, hey, it's been a dog's age, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. The great Steve Mitchell. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, bro. Glad you're here. Let's see here. Whom else? That's everybody at the moment. I believe all accounted for at the moment. Oh, thank you, Stephen. I do appreciate that. Appreciate those kind words. I had a terrific time hanging out with my wonderful friend Purple Valkyrie on that Batman stream. So that was great. And thank you all who listened for that one. That was a lot of fun. Let's see what is going on out there. Well, let's see what's going on in the real world. Did anyone catch the Kenobi trailer that dropped today? I know everybody and their mother's, covering it, so there's not much need of covering. Just wondering if any of you saw it and what you think. Comic Relief Crusader. Oh, draw. Hey, keep on drawing. That's all. That's great. And thank you for listening. I appreciate you, sir. So, um, I hope Maddie feels better from that cold, brother. Yeah. Oh, D-Bet, okay, you saw it. Yes. And J-Man, you saw it. Yeah, I don't know what to think really either. It's very manipulative. Like, well, it did what trailers are supposed to do in the sense that it's highly manipulative. Eric Carroll, hey there. And good to see you, Eric. And I agree, Eric. It does look somewhat promising in a sense. Look, in the sense that it's hearing some of that great music from the old days. So you Duel of the Fates, Battle of the Heroes, stuff like that. A good number of years ago, back when there was an EU, there always will be an EU, by the way. I'm being facetious. There was a great EU book. Now I didn't get a chance to sit and read it, but I listened to the audio book, which was unabridged, and those old Star Wars audio books they use really, I highly recommend the good ones, especially the Timothy Zahn ones and some of the others, because they're really well done. They're really great, very entertaining. 8-9 hours long, some of them, and just incredible stories. I listened to the book Kenobi. Well, I was, when I was working a number of years ago, and it was a really fun read. It was a really good story, and I always thought that book, and it was just called Kenobi, I believe. I forget the author's name, so excuse me on that. But was a really good story, I thought, and really it was entertaining. And thought, yeah, I can see this being what happens to him Obi-Wan when he first goes to Tatooine after he drops off Luke. I can see it's about 6 months or so into his life after he first gets settled down and started there. Obviously, I knew they wouldn't do a TV show on that, but that was interesting. And I thought, yeah, okay, I could see doing a good story. Now, you can say what you want about the prequels. People are all over the place on the prequels. I actually am well disposed towards them. They're not as in a class with the original first two films, or anything like that. But I enjoy bits and pieces of them, like a lot of people do. And I really liked Ewan McGregor. So him doing a show as Obi-Wan is definitely something that has potential if they keep all of the Disney filth out of it. Now we know eventually everything gets back to Disney filth, but I mean, since this takes place at a certain time period, if they keep from infesting it with Disney filth and garbage, it's a chance it could be good. Hungry boy, what's up, buddy? Hungry for some nuance, some context, and subtext. Well, hungry boy, I hope you find it. It's good to see you, buddy. How you doing, man? So yeah, interesting trailer. We don't talk a lot of Star Wars around here. When it comes to Star Wars, I am a huge fan of the first film, the second film, and some comics and books and things like that. So it's near and dear to my heart. But after that, whatever I loved for anything going forward in the future took a serious punch in the gut with the filthy sequel garbage, which is garbage to me anyway. So that said, I thought Mando was okay, but didn't like Book of Boba Fett that much. So I don't really, I'm not, if they do something good here and there that's okay and watchable, I'll enjoy it. And maybe Obi-Wan will be that, and I'll give it a shot. But it's tough for me to get excited about anything Star Wars anymore. It really is. I'm sorry. And by the way, if that's not the case for you, then hey, great. Absolutely. Eric K., that is true. I'm with you there, brother. Eric Carroll, that is. Sorry. Eric Carroll. Eric C., that is. So it's got the K and the C reverse there. But yes, Eric Carroll, I'm right there with you. That's exactly right. That said, hey, Tim's Talk. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. It was cool getting to see you last night at Cardinals show. So, yeah, but I don't talk a lot of Star Wars here. I hope it's good. I hope they do something good, but I never hold my breath on that. It's highly unlikely that they're going to do anything to please me completely anyway. I mean, I found Mandalorian, for example, watchable, and it was okay. And I never really went back and watched it. After watching one episode, I'll go, it was all right. It's okay. Hungry Bush is not to be a ponce. A ponce. I like I like that you said that though. But Star Wars was over for me after 1983. Hey, it was over for me after 1980. You could argue because I I hated Return of the Jedi back then. It took a lot of really bad Star Wars and the sequels to make me more well disposed towards rehash of the Jedi, as I've always called it. So I'm with you there, hungry boy. Tim Hayes, what is up, my friends? Good to see you there. I hope you're doing well. Uh, in the future, there will be a trilogy. The Disney trilogy is an illusion. It's a shade and a lie and has no substance, says Phantom Outsider. Well, I hope so, man. Steven Ernest says, "Who is that in my avatar?" That's my favorite Legionnaire, not named Superboy or Mon-El. My favorite member of the Legion of Superheroes, I should say, not named Superboy or Mon-El. That's Wildfire. Since this is Wild Card Wednesday, I just have that up there. But yeah, I love Wildfire. Drake Burroughs. He's a great member of the Legion of Superheroes, Steven. And so that's why I put him up there. Thank you for asking. Because I love me some Wildfire. And they called him Wildfire. Sorry, didn't mean to sing. Trevor Cunningham, hello. Yeah, well, Trevor Cunningham, I'm with you there. The music was fantastic. Exactly, Steve. We'll be riding wild. Who was that? What's that band? Was that America? Went through the desert on a horse with no name. Wasn't it? Was it them? Steve will know. Someone will know. I can't. Not my strong suit. Old music trivia. Actually, there we go. And they go, and wow, I know you got me thinking that song. Michael Martin Maroy. Okay. Well, Steve knows his music there, so thank you. All right, bro. Thanks, bud. D Bud, Rehash of the Jedi, I really hated it. Um, yeah, Horse with No Name is America. Right, I got you. Gotcha. Thank you. Yes, Hungry Boy, it's interesting. And I'm with you. I love Dave Cockrum's Wildfire. This came from a cover that of a Legion issue that I love, and it's actually Jim Aparo, a Jim Aparo Legion cover. There were a few, but not a lot of those. So I love this. I love this cover. Yeah, I mean, Cockrum, absolutely. Yeah. But I love Jim Aparo too, and Jim Aparo Wildfire. That's a rarity, So I had to have it. Hard to have it. Had to have it. Have it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Phantom Outsider says Legion top 5, no order. Superboy, Mon-El, Wildfire, Ultra Boy, Timberwolf. Greatest Legionnaires, get its own category, Bouncing Boy. Well, you know what category I put Bouncing Boy in? Is luckiest Legionnaire. I mean, he dated Triplicate Girl and still ended up marrying her when she was Duo Damsel. I mean, wow. Yeah, Steve mentioned Jim Aparo saying Wildfire. Look, that's a fine top 5 and difficult to argue with, my friend, because, again, Superboy's my favorite. Mon-El's my second favorite. Wildfire's my first. I mean, it's my third favorite. And when it comes to 3 or 4, that's a tough one because I love Ultra Boy. I love Timberwolf. But I also love Cosmic Boy. I love Karate Kid. Mm-hmm. I'll have to rank my Legionnaires. I don't think I've done that exactly. Anyway, I have to get LT around here. When LT can make it one of these days, we'll rank the Legionnaires. Yeah, Bouncing Boy. Yeah, that man, damn Bouncing Boy did well for himself. Well, this Bouncing Boy. I would think I'm more apt to get Bouncing Boy there right now, bud. Let's see here. I hate the Ewoks, and the ending was kind of just again. My biggest problems with Rehash of the Jedi were we open up, it's the Muppet Show. Han Solo acted completely out of character. I called him Gomer Solo. Han Solo was a goofball and not the cool character he was in the first two films. A rehash plot of the original, another Death Star. I found that to be completely unoriginal. And worst of all, the Ewoks. Now, I like it a lot more than I used to, but those were my biggest problems then and for a long time. But I did like some of the Luke stuff, some of the action. The Death Star battle was great, effects and everything, some great music. But brother sister also hate that crap too. But I'm old. What can I tell you? And it wasn't scary to me though. I was a 19-year-old kid. Imagine you walk into the rehash of the Jedi as a 19-year-old kid. Your two most wonderful movie experiences in your life. 78 was Superman the movie. Then 1980, your experience, for Empire Strikes Back, and you wait 3 years to see that sequel and to see what happened to Han Solo, and then they pull that on you. So I was not having it, not happy, and I thought I went into I only called it the Muppet Show because I was angry at the time. I like Muppets fine, by the way. I was just angry at the time that I just didn't like much. Well, actually, the opening rescue scene I didn't mind too much. I just think when we started getting into Ewoks and we started getting to another Death Star, and then Han Solo's characterization was terrible. Brother and sister stuff sucks. I like, but so much water's gone under the bridge now. But now I love it, warts and all. At least it's got the characters that we love there together, except for Han. He's still great. Someone knows how bad they wrote Han in the film as a goofball. Still hate Ewoks, but man, up against Jar Jar Binks and and then trash they did in the sequel. Ugh. I know there are no sequels. You're right about that, Eric Carroll. So anyway, but it just feels so weird. But it's true, Star Wars is pretty much dead. They still do something every now and then, but since something like The Mandalorian got made and maybe Obi-Wan will be good, it's a long shot, I think. At least that's some sort of life, where Star Trek has no life left, and neither does Doctor Who. And I'm here since we're here for it's open Wednesday, I guess I'll go ahead and make a confession, everyone. And yes, you can tell Raquel on me because I deserve to be tattled on. All right, get ready to laugh at me. Get ready to laugh at me. I sat through the first episode of season 2 of Star Trek P Hard. Yes, I did. I did it. Don't ask me why, because I don't have a good answer for you. Yeah, hungry boy, I hear you there. But I did. I think I already told Raquel. I think I may have actually told her. But here's the thing. You can't say much to me because sitting through an episode of that is its own punishment. I sat through the whole 10 episodes of the first season way back when that came on. So, what are you going to do? Eric K with a $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, I'm telling Raquel, Clobby loves P Hard. You could tell her that. She might even believe you. Not really. I think we actually told her we watched it. In a tweet. I think I sent her a message. I'll tell her tomorrow anyway, because we'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll tease her. I tell you what, everyone, you will get to hear us. You'll get to hear Raquel because Mark did too, by the way. Mark did with a C. So you'll get to hear tomorrow if you join us for Clobbering's Clubhouse. You get to hear Raquel repel in disgust at us for watching that. That filth. But like I say, that watching that show was its own punishment. Yeah. And you probably all be surprised to know that it sucks. Who's shocked? Nobody? Tim Hayes says, Clobberin Times. Michael French is still too busy to come on as a guest. He's a busy man, but I haven't asked him recently because I know he's a busy man, so I don't like to bug him. I'd love to have him on, but I want to, when I do, because he's such a busy man and I respect his time and love him as a friend, I wouldn't just, hey, come on, let's just blah around or whatever. Of course, if he wanted to, I would love him. He popped in right now. It'd be great. But I do plan, I'm trying to think of something that's a topic that he would like to talk about, and he will be on again soon, I hope. Tim, thank you for asking. No, I love Michael. I just don't want to bug him unless I have something, that's a topic that I know he and I could both, that is, I've had him on since even before he had Retro Blasting. I used to have him on my show. And so I've had him on for, like I said, the last time we talked, that was like 10 years of having him on the show many, many times. But I never have once said, hey, just come on and just shoot the shit, buddy. No, he could. I'd love it. But I always make sure I have some kind of topic that I know that the two of us could tackle and sink our teeth into when we do a show together. And we've had so many now. There's some I've forgotten. There's some that we did back in the old days before I moved to YouTube that I would like to go back with them again. Like, oh man, I mean that's a good question though, Tim. But I don't bug him about it unless, because he'll do it. He's a good friend. If I give him some notice, he's always here. He's never let me down and never would because he's a great buddy. And I'm going to bug him again very soon to come back on in a couple of weeks. But I always want to have a good topic for him. I don't want to just waste his time. Again, it wouldn't be wasting time for me if he came on and just to shoot the shit. That would be great. But I always want to get him on when there's something I know that he and I both a topic that we both want to tackle. And we've done so many shows together, and I hope we will do many more. All that said, again, I will reiterate that I'm cognizant of how busy he is, so I don't just bug him all the time to pop on, because it's a full-time job he's got over there. He does such a great channel, and there you go. He's constantly, busting his ass working on that channel. So, that's why it's just I bug him every now and then. And I always feel bad because when I get him on, I'll keep him on for hours and hours and hours. It's like, and I'll go, oh man, but it's so much fun hanging with him, Trevor, I didn't get to see that yet. I love when Red Letter. I love Red Letter Media's review of the full season of P Hard and their individual reviews last year. So I'm looking forward to watching that new video they did. Thanks for reminding me of that. I have to check that out. Red Letter Media really rips that to pieces. But yes, it's just a piece of trash. It's it's such a vanity project for Patrick Screwert. It really is. Eric Carroll, I would agree with that sentiment, sir. That's a fair statement. He says there are only 3 Ghostbusters films, and none of them were released in 2016. I am right there on that same page with you. Indeed. So, yeah, tomorrow night we'll talk a little bit more about P Hard because, with Mark D. And so we could have Raquel get mad at us for watching it. Hey, I'm mad at us for watching it. But no, it's kind of funny, though. One thing I told Mark D, is this episode any worse than any other trash they did last year? No, it's just as funny bad as the other ones, I guess. But it's somehow, when I got to the end of the episode and the predictable thing happened with Q, and they showed a coming attractions for the rest of the putrid season. Something snapped inside of me that didn't happen even last time for first season. Something snapped. I don't know what it was. And I went, oh, a horrible feeling just popped. And I'm like, I don't know if I can sit through that shit. I did it last time. I don't know if I can sit through that crap again. I'm not so sure. It was easy. Don't get me wrong. As bad as it is, I think I can sit through anything. No matter how bad it is, I can watch it and go, well, and then at least you can talk about it and you can, joke around and what have you. Well, it's painful. I don't know. I'm not sure I could sit through the second season. I'm going to watch the next episode and see. I'm going to see if I can do that. No. I didn't give him any money. Disgusting that Clobberin and Mac, you mean Mark, watch that and give them. I didn't give them a dime, Eric K. Let me tell you something, dude. I spent enough money on Star Trek in my life. Not that I'm somebody who has any money, but over the course of 40-something years, I spent enough on them bitches. It's, so they can. I won't say more than this, but I don't pay a dime to watch that thing. Nor have I since since I didn't pay a dime to see the shitty Jar Jar Abrams movie trash, or the episodes. I watched most of the first season of STD before I couldn't stand that anymore. I didn't pay a dime to see any of that. So they can come get me. And they could suck it. Like I said, even the piece of trash 09 movie. No, I'm not saying arg or anything like that, D-Bud, but I had my ways. But you know what? By the way, look. Some people, that thing's now on a streaming service. So it's just part of a streaming service. I would never join it, by the way, but I'm saying some people remember that service and it's on there. So I don't know what to do, but they can suck it. Yeah. Look, Phantom Outsider, I hear you. Hey, Latino Slant, Paulie, coming fresh from his show that he did tonight. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, buddy. Always a pleasure, bro. Hope you're doing well tonight, pal. So, yeah. All I'm saying is I think something snapped inside of me that I'll watch Hey, Pop Culture Republic. Good to see you, buddy. I'll watch the second episode of P Hard, season 2. I think I'll force myself to watch it, if nothing else, just to get Raquel riled up. And after that, I might be done. I don't know if I could sit through this whole season. And again, the first season, the first episode of this season was not necessarily any worse than the whole horrible 10 episodes of the first season. Like I said, just something snapped at me. What snapped at me when I watched it and saw those end, when I see what they're going to be doing this season with this lame ass time travel crap or whatever, and it's going to be super political. It just, I can't. I can't, man. I say I can't. Maybe I can. We'll see. But I'll put it to you like this. I won't do reviews where I advertise the show. And aside from BSing about it a little bit here, you won't get that much attention from me. Yes. Phantom Outsider, if you would like, I'll give you a synopsis of episode 1 of season 2. You ready? Who's ready for a synopsis of episode 1, season 2 of Star Trek P Hard? Right there. Here we go. Captain's log. The show sucks, man. But Captain, something's happening. What's that? Censors indicate that this show really, really, really sucks. I thought I told you that the show only sucks. No, sir. I'm seeing multiple readings now. The show sucks, Suck, 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 sucks. Suckety, 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 McSuck sucks. On the tops of chocolate covered suckage in a chocolate covered suckage sandwich. So, what are you trying to tell me, number one? I'm not number one, sir. I'm number two, like this show. Ah, yes, of course. Well, make it so or something. Make what so, sir? I don't know. Let's have a plot or something. I'll tell you what. How about I get some Romulan tale? Yes, because the episode, folks, when it opens the back, when he opens up at Chateau Pihard, like in the first season, yeah, he's back on Earth. Anyone remember the kind of hot Romulan lady that was his servant with her husband last year or on the show before? Well, apparently, her husband passed away, and she's sitting there talking to Pihard. And yes, I kid you not, this kind of hot babe, Romulan, has got the hots for 90,000-year-old robot Picard who is dead and is in a robot body. Yeah. Now, who do you think wrote that? Probably producer boy, executive producer, vanity project boy, Patty Stew. Poopy Stew, as Raquel calls him. Whose idea do you think that was? Patrick Steele said, "Make it so, no one. I want the hot chicks to like me, even though I'm 97 years old and I'm a robot." Oh dear. So you're supposed to believe that this. Oh my God. But he's, by the way, they don't even do anything about Picard's voice. He talks like this the whole time now. I can't even say, make number one, make it so. Captain on the bridge, I think, Mr. Data, where are you? All right, J-Man, thank you for being here, buddy. Have a great night, my friend. Let me know what Blake 7 episode you're on, bro. Because I know you got to be getting close to the end, brother. And yes, I'm getting really excited about that. To switch gears to something good. Hey, Milton Knowles, the insane witch king. I've not seen you here before, but welcome. Picard is just constipated, and that's a medical condition. That's why he talks that he can't help it. Well, there we go. Now, Max Redstone, dude. The great Max Redstone. Max, I will have you know that your amazing lyrics were a big hit on Saturday Night Star Trek the other night, and I thank you so much for those, my friend. I think everyone really enjoyed them. Romulans, I'd like to. Yeah, and she's a hottie too. Hot lady. So, what are you gonna do? God. Well. Anyway, Max. Let's see. Oh. Wow, Phantom Outsider finished Rumors of Death. That's my number 2 all-time favorite episode, Phantom. Good to hear that. Love it. And Raquel is getting close to the end. I don't know how she's going to deal with that. Mark's a little bit farther off from the end. And no, J-Man is getting close to the end, too. And you don't want it to end. You never want it to end when you're watching a show that you know has only so many episodes. Well, they all have so many episodes, but you know what I mean. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yes, he goes to meet Guinan. I'm not going to do it. I'm the last one to throw. I'm the last one to throw stones when it comes to that sort of thing, comic relief. But they did not have a good excuse for Guinan looking what she did. She shouldn't have been in there. That boy's absolute candor can get his ass kicked. Whoever wrote this knows nothing about Romulans. Not only that, because she said that about, yes, she said that about Legolas. What do you mean get his ass kicked? He's apparently the guy can slaughter any kids that attack him. He's got a sword. Yeah, garbage. Monkey J Boss, what's up, buddy? Yeah, she decided to get old. Didn't say anything about what the other thing she decided to look like that I'm not going to say. Not going to say it. But Jesus. Well, it sucks. But again, look, we all knew it would, though. Didn't we really? I mean, come on. You said it. I didn't, Comic Relief Crusader. And I live in a glass house when it comes to that, so I don't throw the stones. Then again, I'm not on TV, am I? You know, so there's that. What a week. Yeah. Well, she was just a lot. Let's see. She was. I'm guessing Guinan was more Whoopi Goldberg. A lot more Whoopi Goldberg, by the way, buddy. Than the '80s comedian Whoopi. Yes, pretty much. She just. Again, she didn't really act like Guinan that much. I mean, she did, but I don't know. Just don't put her in there. It was embarrassing. But again, she deserves it because Whoopi Goldberg's a jackass. You know, this Captain Rios kid, the guy nut, is captain of the Stargazer. Since all that shit that happened at the end of in the first season, they've all been. Let's see, the murdering woman who murdered Bruce Maddox. She got off with an insanity plea, so she's in Starfleet. The girl who's the key to everything, like as Gary likes to call her, was barely in the episode. I keep forgetting her damn name. That's why I only. 6 of 9 is still, action girl, and Rios is the captain of the Stargazer with a he's got a stogie. He's smoking a stogie on the bridge of a starship. It was just stupid. Q decided to get old. Decided, yeah. So, well, I knew 2 years ago when they said that or a year ago when everyone said or theorized that it would be John Delancey on the show. I knew he was going to do that to save money. He was going to see him and go, "Oh, you've got Noel, Jean-Luc, and let me catch up." That thing, everyone knew he was going to do that. There was no surprise to save money. Yeah, they wouldn't pay for the de-aging at all. But again, you've got Q, so you do have an out with it. But it still just doesn't matter. It's still stupid. So Guinan, who lives hundreds of years without changing, somehow changed herself like that on purpose. I mean, what? In the 24th century, do they have the same obesity epidemic we have here? Just saying. Yes, they did. They did that in the first season. They did that, Trevor, pointing them out with a bunch of psychos and murderers. And then when they bring Admiral Picard. Well, that's a good question. It should be. That's actually a very good point, Eric K. But I mean, Eric Carroll. Well, it doesn't have an A because these idiots don't know anything about Star Trek. That's your bottom line answer for everything. What really got to me though was right before the ending, like the penultimate bit there, where they get attacked by the Borg again. The Borg is attacking through that, and I'm like, raise your hand if you're tired of the Borg. They were great, and they're great villains and stuff. They were really overused on V'ger, and they're overused again. It's like, do we really have to deal with the Borg again? You can't come up with anything better than that. It's just the Borg Queen on the ship of the bridge of the Stargazers. Like, really? God, it's so boring. At this point, it's damn boring. I'm so sick of the stupid Borg. Yep, and they're treating the Borg like they're a race now or something. Why are the Borg a race? We got in this argument a couple weeks ago when we were talking about iBorg. The Borg are not a race, and they're starting to be treated like they're marginalized or something like that. The Borg, an AI, started taking over sentient beings and adapting them and assimilating them, stealing them from their actual homes and their races. So the Borg are not a race; they are an infestation. Now, helping Borg reclaim, helping like Borg, if it's possible, like they did with 7 of 9, to bring her back to being human. That's fine, or back to whatever species they happen to be, but don't treat the Borg like a race. That's right, because they can be of any race. But they're tools of an AI. Exactly. The Cybermen are also not a race. The Borg are pretty much ripped off of the Cybermen. No question about that, Hungry Boy. Yeah, Borg is diversity. To hell with it. We'll talk about it tomorrow night with Rick Kell and Mark. I'm sure they'll want to beat up on it some more there. I'll have the next spinner rack machine video out tomorrow. So what kind of fun stuff can we talk about? It has nothing to do with filthy, garbagey, pee hard or new fake Trek. Apollome's Minion, good to see you, my lady. Hey, Brian. Brian Chris Gow, is that how you say it? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. But hello there, Brian. Welcome in here. Wee doggies, like you said. I'm gonna listen to us the word about a man named Jed. Y'all come back, yeah? He said wee doggies, made me think of Jed Clampett. That's just the way things are. Talk about good stuff. Talk about old stuff. That's what we're here for. Done enough bitching. We'll do some more bitching tomorrow night, of course, but yes, let's do that. Oh man, look, you want to get D-Bud riled up there. D-Bud, look at this. Let's talk about Tuska. How Tuska was misunderstood due to deadlines. Okay, that's fair enough. A lot of artists back then, but I don't know how many people we have here know comics that well, but and you would know that for sure. Definitely, Hungry Boy. A lot of comic book artists' work suffered because of deadlines, and they were old men trying to make a living. Yeah, you're right. No question about that, brother. But when you're a kid picking it up off the newsstand, you don't know that. Or off the spinner rack, you don't know that. All you know is you look at it and you go, ugh, that sucks. Because you're a kid. You want a comic book that looks good. And, just the way it went, though, eh? Just the way it went. And a lot of times it was the inkers, like D-Bud says, and those inkers were old too. A lot of those guys have been around since the golden age. They weren't hiring new people that much at that point. That's why there was so many reprint comics. At that point, I've been finding out more and more. But what are you going to do? What you going to do? What you going to do? Now, I'm trying to think of what, let's see here. Topics of things for review in the upcoming weeks. Comics and others. We're not too far away from the Big Blake 7 Roundtable because some dear friends are almost caught up. As I mentioned earlier, Raquel will be done soon. Mark, a little bit, not too far behind. J-Man will be done. And then we'll get LT, Max, if you're interested, and anyone else who's interested in joining the big round table for Blake 7. So, and I just can't wait. Really looking forward to that. But comics reviews. The next one will be in a couple of weeks. It'll be the Wolverine miniseries by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. Let's see. Oh, we got another animation review coming up soon. Yes, Brian, I am a huge Blake 7 fan here. And we have some other friends here who are, and other ones who are just now starting to watch it. So, yes, a blast from the past, indeed. Indeed, it is, sir. But a blast is a past. So, looking forward to that. Had a great time reviewing. Last week reviewed Daredevil Born Again with Nicholas, and that was a lot of fun. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, great fellow. And Loki and I will be reviewing another animated movie soon. So we're almost past Batman week. We've almost cleared Batman week. What a week this was of Batman. I knew it was going to be busy, but because of the new Batman movie coming out, I didn't know it would be this busy. And I didn't look at the box office. I don't know if any of you did. If you did, you can let me know. But I understand it did okay in the first week, but it's the second week that interests me. We'll see how that does. But there's still people talking about it. I must have been on 4 to 5 to 6 shows this weekend about talking about it, including one of my own. So, which is fun to talk other things Batman with Raquel. With Purple the other night. Hungry Boy says, Blake 7 fan from the moment I saw Serverland. Well, who wasn't, Matt Wrestle said, in canon, the Borg, the collective, was destroyed at the end of a Star Trek Voyager. However, this would still allow for the Borg in Star Trek First Contact, as we don't see Janeway until Star Trek Nemesis. But wasn't First Contact takes place before the end of Voyager, does it not? Pretty sure it does. Anywhere in the Delta Quadrant, anyway. Phantom Outsider says, Blake 7 dodged a bullet. Apparently, Counselor Obvious almost was cast as Dana. Oh, yeah, right. I'm glad I hope you're kidding. So, okay, Eric Carroll, yes. First Contact was before the end of Voyager. Yeah. So, anyway. It matters not. I know I've mentioned this a few times, in fact, recently, but if any of you read the IDW comic Star Trek The Next Generation teaming up crossover with Doctor Who, it was the Matt Smith Doctor. They were fighting Cybermen and the Borg, and the Cybermen were threatening the Borg so badly that the Enterprise crew actually teamed up with the Borg to defeat the Cybermen. That's pretty badass right there. It was actually kind of a fun comic, though. Yeah. Orak. Kindly young, you were attempting to override a superior system. I love Orak. Peter Tuddenham, great as Orak, great as Zen and Slave. Yada, yada, yada. So, Jesus. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Garrick, I agree with that, though. Yeah, Borg should have been stopped. There you go, the cyborg. So, you're saying that Marina Sirtis auditioned for Dana. I did not know that. Wow, that's wild, weird stuff. I was not aware of that, Phantom Outsider. I really did think you were pulling my leg. Really? Well, she was British, I know. I knew that much. Well, I'm glad they went with Josette Simon because I don't think, and that's interesting because I mean, if it, put it this way, if I read that before somewhere, I forgot all about it. So may as well. I did not know that. I don't remember ever hearing that. So thank you. That's a fascinating tidbit of information. And I can only say that you are correct, sir, when you say they dodged a bullet. It would not have been the same. I like Dana. Dana's a pretty good character. Yes, indeed, Max Redstone. Can't wait. A weirdly fun crossover. I enjoyed Robotop versus Terminator. Yeah, I think that was written by Frank Miller with Walt Simonson art, was it not, Trevor? Didn't Janeway destroy them? Wasn't that the point? I would have thought so, Eric. But you know how they look. That's common Hollywood stuff. Not just these idiots now dredging up old concepts and ideas and characters because you can't think of anything new. That's very old stuff. Yes, Hungry Boy. They made the right decision with Dana. Yeah, no, that is cringy, Phantom Outsider. I can't imagine that. So I'm with you there, brother. Dana was perfectly cast by Josetti Simon. Josetti, whatever. She doesn't get involved with the show anymore. Jill! Anti-derivative Jill. What's up? Good to see you, dear. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, I can't imagine her being counselor. I did not know that. Like I said, Phantom Outsider. I can't. Marina Sirtis playing Dana. No, it doesn't work for me at all. And I'm glad those guys could see that. Ah, okay. Well, I'm going to use the easy one, Max. In fact, I'll do it tomorrow night on the show. I'm gonna try to remember to do that tomorrow night with Raquel and Mark, and talk about that story to Mark. And yeah, Duck Duck Go. That's Raquel loves that. Duck Duck Go. So that's a good idea. I'll wait to talk about with tomorrow, because that's amazing that Marina Sirtis she could not play Dana. Well, that's why she didn't get the role. Obviously, even if they'd gotten someone else, I doubt she was. I don't understand why they'd even give her a shot at that role. First of all, that would have been wasteless. So that's pretty cool. A good topic for tomorrow night. If I can remember it, I'm writing it down, but that never matters. When I don't look, I got a gobbledygook on the paper here. Let's see here. Dana casting. All right. Hopefully, I will remember that. She couldn't even play or act. Okay, the two on the list we found surprising were Tom Baker wanted a crossover. I remember that he did want a crossover. Paul Darrow considered Firefly a modern remake of the show. Well, I saw an interview where Paul Darrow was talking about it somewhere around 2005 or 6, where they were asking about remaking Blake 7. And he said he doesn't really think they should remake it. He said, but you could do things that are inspired by it that are similar in tone. And he pointed out Firefly is an example of something like that. Firefly is not a remake of Blake 7. He just thought it was something that takes an inspiration, and I think that's what he was talking about, which is great. And I agree with him on that. Yeah. I think that's better, actually, to be honest with you. So, oh my goodness. Marina, he could have been a 2-credit touch. I'd say a 2-credit touch personally, but there you go. But anyway, yeah. So Yeah, Tom Baker he wanted there to be a crossover. They've actually talked about how, there was talk about the Daleks being on Blake 7 on an episode of crossover thing they were going to do. They made the show, with the same budget and a lot of the same places, with even a lot of the same stock music. Oh dear. Why does the new board cling look like a Kmart Clyde Barker Cinnabite? Because they're a bunch of cheap asses. You should just, God. They don't care. They really don't. Phantom Outsider, there was talk about bringing the Daleks on, no question about it. Depending upon how far along you are, there's some other bits of trivia about that. At least Blake 7 is getting some play in the States now, like on BritBox, though, because for the longest time, it wasn't even over here. It was, other than in the 90s, it had some popularity, and they put them all out on VHS tapes, and I bought all of those. But there's never been a DVD set for over here, and certainly not a Blu-ray now. Which really pisses me off to no end. Steve Mitchum, Cinnabite, that's from Clive Barker's Hellraiser. And she does. She does indeed. Because it sucks. Because they all suck. I want to suck her. They suck. Anyway. Well. That's a lot. Well. We've been on for almost an hour, and I've talked about nothing. Oh dear. I wonder what more nothings I can talk about in the next hour. Something so extraordinarily frivolous that you'll all fall asleep on me, eh? I can do it too. That's all right, though. That's what this is, Wildcard Wednesday. I didn't have a topic. I could make up a topic. You could ask questions if you want, I guess. Try to put me on the spot, make me not know stuff. Yeah, stump Clobby. We could do that. Like Cardinal did to me last night. Oh, dear. Let's see. That's what I get for not having a topic. And of course, having a topic is real work too. You gotta study. You gotta I don't know. You gotta come up with something. And you gotta, hey Dave, what's up? David Lopan. Ash. Good to see you, sir. There's one thing. No, it's not geek related though. No one will care about this. I better not do it. No, fine. Yeah, I better not. Nah, never mind. It's not geek related, so. But Eric K might know about it though. Eric K, did you know that the USFL's back? That's true, Max Redstone. They didn't. They never showed what Parisi Squares was. But I'm wondering how many people even know it's back. It's coming back in a couple of weeks with the same teams. D-Bud, did you know that? The USFL is back. Isn't that weird? Phantom? I'm not going to sports ball, everyone, I promise. I just wonder if anyone knew that. Yeah, he hate me. Of course, he hate me was in the XFL, but yeah. 8 teams, but New Orleans is getting one, but all the games are being played in Birmingham. And they're all the teams that they had back. Some of the 8 of the teams are the ones that were from the early 80s. It's crazy. Weird. It is truly weird, wild stuff. In April. Now, will it last? I don't know. What is the difference between a breakdown and an in between? Are you referring to comic books, where they just do like very basic layouts and call them breakdowns, or an in between? I don't know. I don't know. You're the comic artist around here. If you are referring to comics, but I don't know that you are, so I'm not so sure about that. I would need more on that one, brother. I had a season ticket to the USFL's Oakland Invaders for all 3 seasons. Well, Bobby Hebert played for them, the guy who became famous for the Saints there, D-Bud. Wow, okay. Oakland Invaders. I remember that team. But this one has the New Orleans Breakers, the New Jersey Generals, the Michigan Panthers. It has the Houston Gamblers, I think. They have a lot of those same teams from before. Jim Kelly played in the USFL. That's right. So did Jim Mora won 2 championships in it. Steve Young played Reggie White, I think, played USFL. A lot of big names played there. But Steve, I'm not exactly sure what that means. But Hungry Boy seems to know, though. I can tell you the difference between layouts and breakdowns. Yes, you can. I know you can. Parisi squares. They should have shown what the game looks like. There were 2. I don't know. It doesn't sound like a badass game, does it? Parisi squares. All I can tell you for sure, Steve, not being an artist, is that there were times in the comics where they would actually, the credits would say, so-and-so breakdowns, so-and-so finishes. Dave says, Clobberin Times, I picked up a Peacemaker number 4, but it had the 50 cents written on the cover. In your opinion, how bad does this devalue, it has written on the cover? How bad does this devalue the comic? It is only a fine to very fine. Are you saying, you said the 50 cents? First of all, I need to know which volume of Peacemaker it is. Second, you say written over the cover, meaning on the cover. Like actually somebody wrote on the cover? That's right, he did. Yeah. That's right, D-Bud. Okay, I didn't know that was an animation question. My bad, buddy. Why haven't the generals have been promoted? They were generals like 30. Yes, I don't know. I don't know, sir. They made it out of the Parisi square, was violent and dangerous. So maybe it was a mix of handball and rugby. I don't know. Didn't they have like sticks or something? Or no? Was it sort of like, maybe, was there a hockey element to it, maybe? Is it the 50 in the black marker? I mean, yeah, could be newsstand. I don't know, because there are a couple of different versions of Peacemaker. I have to see. Was it the Charlton Peacemaker, Dave? Was it one of the DC one? Because the Charlton one, the cover price on Charlton Peacemaker was like something like 12 cents or whatever. So somebody might have wrote 50 on there, which does definitely hurt it if somebody wrote on a martial art. Yep, Steve Young played as well, D-Bud. Gotcha. Zekarat, what's up, dude? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah. So, Dave, I would need a little bit more info from you, which it is. But I will tell you that if somebody wrote on with Mark Slot or whatever or ink or whatever on the comic, it does severely damage its value for sure, no matter what they wrote on there, even a signature, especially a signature. Jill says, "Well, the squares part always makes me think of four squares, but deadly. Have no idea. At some point, seems like it became a joke that no one knows what it is." Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, they also just didn't feel like making something up. To be honest, I guess you could blame they got better things to do than to make up a fictional game that no one's ever going to play. However, you know, yeah, and it doesn't matter how it doesn't matter who wins. And then Moore says, "Then why keep score? And why keep score?" Yeah, exactly, Morphy. But I tell you this, it must be some kind of rough game if a Klingon will play it. It's got a wimpy name sound to it for some reason. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win the game. Playoffs? Thank you for quoting Jim Mora. The great Jim Mora, the master of the soundbite and the soundbite rant. I love it. Dave says, "I'm at work, don't have it with me." I got you. It is the old 12-cent version. Okay, from the 60s. The 50 cents mark is small, but right on the front cover. Somebody, they either stamped or wrote it on there for resale, Dave. So, yeah, it hurts it a little bit, but, still, if it's not too big of a mark, not so bad. Still a good thing to have, though. If it's in fine to very fine condition, that's a cool comic to have there, man. Probably drawn by Pat Boyette. That's that odd art from the Charlton comics of the time. Now, anytime, Dave. But yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Then why keep score? So, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. I think Parisi Squares is a ripoff of lacrosse in the traditional game. It was played by Native Americans with human heads, and the losing team gets killed. Says Phantom Outsider. Well, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, maybe it is. Have you ever watched lacrosse? Hey, Jim Brown, the great Jim Brown, the great running back Jim Brown of the Cleveland Browns, one of the greatest running backs of all time. He actually played lacrosse at Syracuse. And I'd never seen lacrosse until about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. I forgot I'm flipping these upper channels on my satellite when I used to have DirecTV because I'm bored. And they got all these crazy, obscure sports channels, or they did. And I landed on lacrosse. And I actually watched a little bit of lacrosse. And it's kind of fun to watch. It's pretty interesting to watch, I guess. But is that really played very much outside of the Northeast coast or whatever? I don't know. Is it? I mean, is there really a lot of people play lacrosse that I don't know about? Yeah. It was something like that, Phantom. It was one of those. Fox Sports had like 15 different channels, 20, 30 different channels back then. There were all these obscure sports on there. Not so much obscure, but there were like locals from different places. And yes, they had lacrosse on there. That's right. He was the best lacrosse player ever and the best football player ever, of course. There's a professional lacrosse league there is a professional league. There's a team here in San Diego. Okay. I did not know that. Mostly in Canada, Eric says. Okay. I'm not knocking it, just didn't know. You just don't see it every day, you know what I mean? 666 666 is here. The lovely, beautiful Six, thank you for popping in, my dear. It is good to see you. It is good to see you. So what you're saying, Hungry Boy, is you're not really a fan of lacrosse, are you? I gotcha. Jim Thorpe was the greatest athlete of all time. Agreed, Eric K. Agreed. So, that's something. You know, what in the hell? Oh, okay. I was trying to find something here. Oh, never mind. I forgot to load everything I needed to load there. They keep changing stuff on StreamYards. See, I knew it. No, that's all right. We'll handle that tomorrow night. Can't wait to get back on. I don't do any of you who write your reviews. Do you all rewatch the Trek episodes? I've always meant to ask actually because we don't have time to do it when we're doing it on Saturday Night Star Trek. Do you rewatch them that same week or a few days before we do the review of them, or you just go by memory of when you saw them last? I know everyone does it differently. Raquel waits till almost like the last day, I think. Sometimes I'll do it like on that Sunday after we reviewed the shows. I'm just curious how you all do it. Max, last sports ball comment. I would have loved to see Mike Ditka team play on a Jim Mora team. Just for nothing else more than to see they did. It happened a few times, and the worst one was in the Superdome when we had the Bears kind of beat at the end of the first half. The Saints, Morton Anderson kicked this is like 89. This is 89-90. Kicked a 60-yard field goal, but the second half the Bears came back and beat us. And the sound bites, Mike Ditka sound bites because he won though. You need them both to lose for the sound bites to really be good. But yeah, Max, it's happened. Mora and Ditka have squared off against each other a couple times. Ditka was a lot of fun with his sound bites too. You're right about that. Yeah, Jill, I usually do it too early sometimes. Eric Carroll says he's seen all 735 at least a dozen times. Excellent. Hungry Boy says, I go by memories, but I rewatched 5 of them. Sadly, I rewatched Whoopi plus Mark Twain bar. If you didn't like that one, did you? Yeah, that was a good game there. Max, actually, I was pissed off because the Saints were 7-0 that year till the Bears came into the dome. With those mini Bears with the regular size Ditka. No, that was when the Bears were good and the Saints were good, and it was a tough game there. But it was Jim Harbaugh that beat us. Damn it. Sometimes I'll go as early as that Sunday after we watch them just to watch them because I feel like watching some Trek. The Bears. Hello, Six. Are you a Bears fan, Six? I have many wonderful, lovely friends who are Bears fans. Well, they're guys, so they're not really lovely. But if you're a Bears fan, I now have a lovely friend who is a Bears fan. But yes, and if Max is a Bears fan, I know another Bears buddy. And you guys have had some great luck. Not lately, but I mean, you had a storied franchise. Okay, born in Chicago, excellent. Well, I have every respect for Papa Bear Hallis. I mean, the Bears say that you guys started football. You're Papa Bear. That's why they call him that. George Hallis started football. The only thing and it's a storied franchise, the Bears. You never had any luck at quarterback after Sid Luckman, and that's a shame because usually teams have more luck with quarterback. But still, you got that big one in '85, which you got them right down here in my neck of the woods. You got that one in New Orleans when you waxed the Patsies. If memory serves, not crisp enough, I will go rewatch also the Bears. Also born in Chicago. Max. Okay, cool. Got some Chicago fans, some Windy City fans here. That's great. I've got many friends who are from Chicago. Chicago, you're my kind of town. Yep, I'm sorry. Beginning of Buck Rogers, when he's singing Chicago. Oh, never mind. I've been watching some Buck Rogers lately. I love watching that show. I love that show. And Buck Rogers was from Chicago. But I have every respect for the Bears. Can't get enough Super Sugar Crisp. Golden Super. Remember, wasn't it Super Sugar Crisp before it became Super Golden Crisp? I'm pretty sure it was Super Sugar Crisp. During my lifetime, the Bears have had more quarterbacks than I've had oil changes. That's hilarious. I'm sorry, man. Not as bad as the Lions, though. Almost. Well, maybe. But at least you still won championships. D-Bud says, I have TOS, TAS, and on DVD. So I watched those before Saturdays. We reviewed those shows. Yeah. D-Bud, they're about to take, hey, Keely Chow, Roll Tide. I use Netflix for Next Gen because I don't have Next Gen on DVD. I can't afford that sucker. It's expensive. And they're taking that off in April, so I'm going to have to find out how I'm going to watch those. Yes, it was Sugar Crisp, then Super Sugar Crisp, and finally it's Super Golden Crisp, says Tim Hayes. Thank you. Doing some cereal info tonight. Roll Tide. The makers of Lycra. Yeah, I got you there, hungry boy. You'll always have the 85s Bears in that great defense. Yep, and you'll always have that, have sweetness. You'll always have sweetness. You'll always have Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers and George Salas. But your last great quarterback was Sid Luckman. So you'll get one. Eventually you might get another great quarterback. That is a strange thing for a franchise to be around 100 years and have one Hall of Fame quarterback. That is weird. I mean, you got, whether you're a Bears fan or not, and it is a strange thing. The average for a team around 100 years should at least be 2. You're hated. I know if you're a Bears fan, a buddy of mine who's a Bears fan really hates the Packers. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say you guys probably hate the Packers. Your hated Packers, they have 3. In 100 years, they have 3 Hall of Famers. No, 4 Hall of Famers. And you guys got 1. So it's got to suck. At quarterback, I mean. You have a lot of other players, but no, I don't think they have Quisp and Quake anymore. D-Bud, I'm pretty sure those are gone. Yeah, it is a waltz theme. The movie version has the Buck Rogers waltz theme, but they did a nice job of spicing it up for the opening credits, though. And yes, Erin Gray. I've met Erin Gray. She's a sweet lady. Love her. And Gil Gerard. Gil Gerard's not a sweet lady, but he's a nice guy. Silly rabbit tricks of a kids. Ho! See, I know we're not supposed to be talking about sports ball, but I love sports hatred. It is the most pure hatred there is. Don't get me started about the effing Packers. You're supposed to have at least one team you hate if you have a sports team that you love. And I'm supposed to hate the Packers, but I don't. Oh, okay, interesting. 6. There you go. Most of my Bears friends hate the Packers. I can't even use the term they call the Packers on the air. I wouldn't even do it. And I feel bad for our buddy Vigilante Williamson. He's a Lions fan. That's long suffering right there. So yeah. Ah, well, that's a damn shame. But again, you do have the 85 team. Clobberin Times, says Dave. There's a story that Erin Gray had to be sewn into her outfit because it was so tight. Well, I don't know. I could neither confirm nor deny that, Dave, but it was tight, was it not? Whew, good lordy. in the bestest possible sense. She was gorgeous. She's one of the greatest hotties of all TV history. I mean, if we're doing that, if you just want to stick with science fiction, fantasy, TV, just TV for a second, it's who we were talking about the other night, Batgirl, Yvonne Craig, Marta Kristen as Judy Robinson in Lost in Space. They were my first two loves. Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. Erin Gray. Not only Erin Gray as Buck Rogers as Wilma Deering, but also Pamela Hensley as Princess Ardala. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Nice. I mean, they were amongst the best. If you're just talking science fiction television. World Made of Cardboard. Welcome, buddy. Yeah, Julie Newmar, of course. No question about it. Love her. You're absolutely right. World Made of Cardboard. Hello there, my friend. He says, my wife is the football fan. I couldn't care less. During football season, she's yelling at the TV, rooting for the Saints. I did that for 50 years, rooting for the Saints, my beloved Saints, until I got pissed off at them and the NFL and gave it up a year ago. So I still watch it and I still miss it, but I'll watch a little bit here and there, but I've pretty much gotten out of it as well. So, but I know how she feels because I miss those yellings. I miss yelling on Sundays. I really do. Is the nickname the Packers have anything to do with the fact that they were professional Packers? Yes, or I'm not going to say the rest of that because it's a joke that we usually call them that. Damn it, Phantom Outsider, dude. What are you trying to do to me? Dude, what's wrong with you? Anyway, yes. It's their Packers though. I can't really go, but dude, I was trying to avoid saying that, and oh man, I didn't know you were going to put that up there. Damn you. D-Bud says, sorry, my cat was demanding food. Did I hear? Yes, Marta Kristen, sir. She amongst, yeah, I know they're Packers. That's all we're saying. But yes, we were talking about Yvonne Craig the other night, and my first two loves as a human on this planet were Yvonne Craig and Marta Kristen. I love her. Yeah, that's right, Hungry Boy. The hotties of V. Was it the lady that played Diana? Oh, what was her name now? Come on. But she was something. I can't remember the lady's name. There were a couple of them that were nice. Faye Grant was the one that played the hero lady. Jane Badler. Thank you. Thank you, Max. Jane Badler. What a Badler baby. Woo. So, yeah. Yeah, Marta. Oh, my God, man. She's still out there. I mean, yeah, I love Julie Newmar, yeah. I love Lee Merriweather. I was watching Batman 66 just the other night. Love that movie. Yep. Everyone must be on different points of the stream because people are, what about Julie Newmar? They've mentioned her a couple times there, Phantom. But yes, she's magnifico. And actually, Julie Newmar was on an episode of Buck Rogers. Steve, I don't. Steve says, does anyone remember the name of Julie Newmar's line of pantyhose? I do not. Yes, Keely Chow, I hear you. That's for Keely Chow says, for more sports ball, please subscribe to Sports Wars. I do subscribe to Sports Wars, I think. I'm pretty sure. I like Geeks and Gamers and those guys over there. Let's see. Clobberin was a Mondo hottie for me too in Outer Limits and the Bel Air. Yes, she was great. Yeah, Faye Grant was something. Oh yeah. She was also in an episode of Jason of Star Command. Who's that? She who World Made of Cardboard. Are you referring to Marta, or I think Marta maybe, or Julie Newmar. Hmm. I'm not sure who you're referring to. Now, Battlestar Galactica had some lovely ladies as well. Maureen Jensen, who never did anything other than that in a horror movie, and then Larat Spang, and of course, for the first episode, the wonderful Jane Seymour. Nice, yeah. So anyway, oh dear, oh dear. The War Witch. That's right. The end of the first season. Buck Rogers. Okay, Julie Newmar was on Jason Star Command. Wow. Okay. I can't remember that one for some reason. I forgot that she was on there. Faye Grant was on The Greatest American Hero. That would be correct. Phantom Outsider. Yes, sir. That's right. And I know Erin Gray was on an episode of The Fall Guy, but outside of that, Buck Rogers, I don't remember seeing her on a lot of stuff. Yeah, Sid Haig was on everything, D-Bud. See, but Sid Haig was also on a Buck Rogers episode, wasn't he? You always see that guy. He's like really scary and stuff, but he's a short. I mean, I've seen him at a con, kind of a little dude, really. But you see him in all these TV shows back then and movies, and he's real. You think he's scary and intimidating and stuff. Oh, Erin Gray was on Silver Spoons. That's right. I didn't watch that. Okay? Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. Yep, Sid and Marty Croft. They were called nude. Are you lying, Steve Mitchum? Are you lying to us? I'm not. You already pulled the joke on me once. I'm not falling for that one. Not falling for it, man. Yeah, but I never saw Lorette Spang in Lorette, or however you say it, Spang in anything other than Battlestar Galactica. Joanna Cameron just passed recently. She was wonderful as Isis. God, we loved her. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well. What? Erin Gray was also. Yeah, that's true. She was on the Star Trek Continues. I remember that. Yeah, but that was relatively recently. So I don't know. No one ever. A couple of those ladies never went back to doing it. Pamela Hensley was on Matt Houston, and she never did anything either. Oh, that's a shame, Tim Hayes. Well, that's a shame, Tim Hayes, about Marion Jensen. Yeah. Again, other than some horror movie she did, and we only know she did it because we knew her from Battlestar Galactica. After Galactica, I think, and then just never saw her in anything anymore. Oh, Erin Gray was on an episode of Starman, eh? This TV show. Yeah, the Starman TV show didn't last that long. Yeah, well, it's funny. Some of these people they get in one show, you know them from that, and then you don't really see them in much of anything again. I mean, what have you seen? And don't give me like the one, two. Listen, but Gil Gerard, after Buck Rogers, I think he did a couple of TV movies. And yes, he was on the Star Trek Continues. But that's my thing. You would have expected to have seen him do a lot more. He probably expected to do a lot more. Buck Rogers should have lasted more than 2 damn seasons. Even with that second season, was what a mess it was. You know, people dog out the second season, deservedly so, but I thought the first one, The Time of the Hawk, was really good. I mean, I remember when they first aired Time of the Hawk, I was like, what in the hell are they on a spaceship for? Where's Dr. Hewer? Why does Twiki sound stupid? What is all? I was kind of thrown aside for thinking back at first, but I found Hawk intriguing. But then I thought the episode was great. I love that. So wow, we're in for a good. I mean, this show's Yeah, they're on a. I don't know why they're on the Searcher and all this stuff, and then it went right from there to some really goofy crap. I mean, again, still just like the first season was pretty damn goofy. I mean, it's no less goofy than the first one, but it wasn't. The direction was not really warranted. I don't know. I mean, but it just still, I think it would have been great to see another shot at it. And Steve, you're probably just far behind in the stream or something, buddy. So I got you. Okay, well I believe you then. I don't know if you pulled my leg earlier, so I had to watch it. So, but yeah, the potential there. And again, it was a different time. This had some really not good stories in that second season of Buck Rogers. Phantom Outsider says, actually, Gil Gerard really didn't need to do Buck Rogers. He was an executive at a chemical company. He was one of the top chemists they offered to make him co-president, but wanted him to finish a degree. Well, yeah, I'm glad he had something to fall back on. And I'm glad he did Buck Rogers. I mean, that you say what you want about, the limitations of actors here and there, and they may not be. In his case, Shatner did a lot of other stuff, and they still make fun of him. Gerard didn't try his hand at other types of characters. He just did Buck Rogers. But his performance of Buck Rogers in those two seasons, I don't know if it was him being himself. I don't know because his character made that show. He was larger than life. He was really likable. He was as cool as could be. He was just a badass on the show. Gil Gerard is, I mean, a lot of that show, a gigantic, because the stories were kind of goofy. They had a lot of, kind of a puerile, infantile stories sometimes. Not great science fiction stories, just fun, silly action adventure. But he made the character just so cool. He really made that show fly, in my opinion. Yeah, he's the badass. Bitty 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 buck. Bitty bitty what a body. And yes, we eventually got Mel Blanc back later in the second season. So that's something. Wow. The Starman TV show was canceled after the second commercial. Didn't last long. Hey, Terrell72. What's up, man? Good to see you. He says, yeah, I love Buck season 2, even though it was weirdly different than the first. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's goofy fun, but I really thought Time with Hawk was great. I love the character of Hawk. They should have been able to do more with him, and who knows? That's what I said. If we got in the third season, perhaps they would have. But I don't know why. Was it necessary to get rid of Dr. Hewer or to send them out in the spaceship or on a starship? I don't know. Maybe it was. But you could have done a lot with that. I mean, the plot was okay. The Searcher, you get rid of the stupid Crichton robot and stupid ass Dr. Goodfellow. Admiral Asimov was not really interesting either. Buck should have been the captain. Or a better actor than the one they had, anyway. I remember on the bridge of the Searcher, remember some of the people on there, though? Dennis Haysbert, very top-notch actor later, but that he was getting a start. And the guy, God, I can't remember his damn name now, but the guy from Where No Man Has Gone Before, played Lieutenant Kelso, that got himself killed in that episode, was a regular on the Searcher, the bridge of the Searcher. Yes, Anne Lockhart was a cutie as well. Look, she did resemble her mother. Yes, World Made of Cardboard. I agree with that. On the Battlestar Galactica, I liked Sheba. Yeah, they had some sweet babes on there as well. No question about it. And they even had an episode where you didn't get one Britt Eklund, you got multiple Britt Eklunds. Remember? Yowza. So yeah, there you go. Old science fiction television. I can't beat it. Yikes. What the? Sorry, everyone. Having to drink some water. I have severe heartburn right now. Pat S., what's up, bud? A man called Hawk. Captain Cisco dressed like an eagle solves mystery. Yep. I didn't get to see much of that show. It didn't last that long either. He was cool on Spencer for Hire, too, though. A world, yeah. I've also seen Anne Lockhart at some conventions as well. She, again, cutie. So sad. Richard Hatch was supposed to be at a con, but he was out ill, and he died not long after. I got to see him. Yeah, I got to see him at a couple of cons. Tim, he was a nice guy, and he was really devoted to Battlestar Galactica for sure. Trevor Cunningham says, at the time, I didn't appreciate the 80s Flash Gordon movie, but love it now. Would be nice to have a sci-fi fantasy pulp in the spirit of fun again. I would agree with that. It would be nice. It would be. And I do love that movie. In my opinion, says Max Redstone, V the series was one of the greatest wastes of sci-fi series ever. Yeah. Now, I loved the first V miniseries, and I even liked the second one, The Final Battle, even though Kenneth Johnson disowned it. The guy who produced the first miniseries disowned it and hated what they did with the network did with it. I liked it because we got Michael Ironside as Ham Tyler in the last two bits. So, I mean, that was worth the price of admission right there. And then at least you got a good cast on the series. And you had Michael Ironside on there. Well, but they didn't do anything with it. But in fairness, they weren't given a shot. They don't let a show breathe. Maybe it could have got better in the later season. Maybe they could have got. They don't give a show a chance back then, especially science fiction show. A lot of shows, but especially science fiction shows, if they don't miraculously get past their first 13 or 14 episodes back then, they didn't have a chance. And it's a shame. Don't make the series at all if you're not going to commit to it, jackasses. And that was a big problem with TV of the era. Michael Ironside as Ham Tyler. Look, you can say what you want about the final battle. It did kind of that last part. It was a 3-part 2-hour miniseries rather than a 2-part like the first one. First one's better. I mean, absolutely, but you can say what you want about him. But the final battle, it kind of was a little bit of a neat, tidy ending. Had some stupid shit in it at the end with the alien human girl hybrid, but still has a lot of good, cool stuff in it. And again, Michael Ironside just knocks that out of the park, man. But he always did back then. Tim Hayes says, "Flat 80s Flash Gordon is like the 60s Batman show. It's basically a comic book. Well, it's also written by the same guy who wrote a lot of the Batman TV show. Lorenzo Simple Jr. did write this part of the screenplay for the Dino Flash film, and he worked on the Batman Adam West show. So there you go. Interestingly enough, though, it did well, but it's more. I think it's actually more loved now than it was back then. Meaning, yep. Whatever you say, Gooder. Yep, good reference. I love it. Ham Tyler. But it's kind of funny. The Batman TV show, which we talked about a lot over the past couple of weekends, which I loved, the whole camp. I hate using the word camp because Tom with the Insight said you're right, dude. It's not camp doesn't really cover it, but the whole, just for lack of a better term anyway, the campy or the cornball stuff and the humor, the satirical humor used was kind of worn thin before even that Flash Gordon movie with George Powell's Doc Savage movie was trying to be more like the Batman TV show, and it didn't really work out. I still kind of like it because Ron Ely's great casting for Doc Savage, but it has some cringy stuff in it. It's fun, but it's got some really goofy stuff, especially the theme in the film, "Have no fear, the man of bronze is here." Yes, I'm not going to do it, but yes, did anyone see Doc Savage? Any of you? Doc Savage, the movie. Doc Savage with Ron Ely. Trevor says, "I've worked with Michael Ironsides a few times on movies here in Canada." Oh, really? He is a hoot after he stopped feeling intimidated. Wow. Michael Ironside was in the recent film Nobody, which was a great movie. and I didn't even recognize him. I ended up seeing his name in the credits, going, "What in the hell?" I did. He was unrecognizable in it for me. I wasn't expecting him though. A world made of cardboard. Thanks for joining us, my friend, fellow Louisianian, and have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you. Surprised John Dykstra won an Emmy for Battlestar Galactica, but if it only lasted one season. Heard it was too expensive. Yes, Galactica at the time, the original Battlestar Galactica, was very expensive. And again, another show not given a chance. Oh yeah, you did see Doc Savage, Steve, of course. 70s Doc Savage movie. Well, you saw it, Hungry Boy. Good, yeah, of course, like 75, I believe. Ron Ely was a perfect casting for that. Let me tell you something about Mr. Ron Ely, my friends. That guy has played not one, not two, but a whopping 3 iconic heroes. Ron Ely has, of course, played 2 great pulp heroes. One that was also a great movie hero when he played Tarzan on television in the 60s. Then he played a great pulp hero in the 1975, I believe it was 75 film, George Powell film, Doc Savage. And then he played Superman. Exactly, Steve Mitchum. But he didn't. He did, but he didn't. He wasn't really called that. For those who don't know, and I'll be spoilery because it's an old show no one ever watches, I actually liked the Superboy TV series of the late 80s, early 90s. And there was an episode where Superboy was going into the, these alternate dimensions through this portal. And he meets an older version of himself played by Ron Ely. And it's this utopian world that's all, now he's been Superman for so long. He's not wearing the costume, but he's telling, he shows, this utopian world or whatever. And Superboy says to him, I don't think I could do all this. He says, I did it. And it'll take you some time. And once you've done it, you won't be called Superboy anymore. Now, the rights were such as you could not say Superman on that TV show because the Salkinds, produced that Superboy series. And they had the rights to Superboy TV and movie properties and such. So, yeah, but they didn't have the rights for any more Superman movies. So, yeah, they got away with that. But anyway, yes, so he's Superman. So he plays Tarzan, Doc Savage, and Superman. Wow. And yet, more useless information that nobody needed. Yeah, I was just watching that one. Let's see, what's it? Clobberin Times. Are we ever going to get a Condor Man 2 or a Condor Man TV show? My theory would be, Pat S., I'd say no, sir. I'd probably advise you strongly to not count on it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you probably not going to get it. What's that song? Never Gonna Get It, Never Gonna Get It? Yeah. So, let's see here. I was going to bug Mark D with a C out there, but I don't think he's probably busy doing stuff tonight. So I'm not going to leave him, figure he's got too much on his plate. But if you're out there, dude, you're welcome to come and hang if you want to. But anyway, let's see here. Yes, Phantom Outsider. We're just watching that episode again for the 10 millionth time with Buster Crabbe popping up on Buck Rogers as Colonel Gordon in that ineptly named episode that was still pretty good, though. It was the second Buck Rogers, first regular episode, 2-parter after the pilot, called Planet of the Slave Girls, which is an idiotic name for an episode. But yes, But Colonel Gordon, played by the great Buster Crabbe, who's also played Flash Gordon and Tarzan. That's pretty damn good. I love that scene where he goes, "Where'd you start, Gordon? Where'd you learn to shoot like that?" And he says, "Young man, I've been doing that." Oh, he also played Buck Rogers, by the way. Crabbe played Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and Tarzan. And he said, "I've been doing that sort of thing since before you were born." He says, "Think so, huh? Young man, I know so." I already talked about that earlier, dude, but yeah, I figured you were busy tonight, so I didn't want to bug you. But hail to the Mark D with a C. And hail, J.D. Lewis. Good to see you, buddy. And, Smiling Bandito. Hello there. It's good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate you. But yes, I forgot about that. Buster Crabbe is another guy. 3 different heroes, man. Tarzan, Flash Gordon, and Buck Rogers. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. That's pretty good. You know, Kirk Allen played Superman and Blackhawk. Tom Tyler played Captain Marvel and the Phantom, didn't he? Let me get this. Oh boy, this is what you get when you eat chili. Red beans one night, the chili the next. Bad heartburn. But my mom made it. I had to have it. Now I have to cough. Sorry, friends. Coughing fit there. Oh dear, I should not have done that. Man, oh man. Yes, that is true. You're not supposed to tell everybody that when Fandom Outsider. He says, "I heard Clobby started a position to get more Wesley on P Hard season 2. You know, let me tell you, look, I'll be honest with you. I hope they do put him on there. Look, why should Poopy Stew and John Delancey and all these other sellouts be the only ones to humiliate themselves on a garbage show? And so put Wesley on there. It'll be funny. It'll be stupid. I want him to be a part of this trash. I hope he is on there. It'll just be even funnier. He's been sucking up to him since the last season anyway, hasn't he? Let's see. Damn. I now want Clobby to owe a classic villain. What do you mean, oh? One that would have been a great 1960s culture voice. I'm not sure what you mean there. I'm not. Whatever do you mean, hungry boy? Whatever do you mean, sir? I don't really understand that one. Jill says at this point, I don't think even Wes could make it worse because it's that bad. But you know what? It would be funny to see him on there. I'd laugh. Make him worse. I mean, put him on there. And how about if they just put him on there and let 6 of 9 beat the crap out of him? That'd be funny. Let Legolas slice him up with a sword, man. VQ being a millennial. No problem there, Hungry Bear. Gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, put him on there and let him get humiliated and like everybody else. Phantom says, I'm joking, lol. No one wants to watch anyway. Besides, Wesley does that after show. Yes, he does, where he says how great the garbage they just showed was. Yes, that's true, Phantom, but I think it'd be hilarious to put him on there. And then, like Jill said, imagine if they gave us Legolas slicing him up with a sword, and you could just play that on endless loop. Dave says, yes, Dennis Haysbert, that's right. The Allstate commercial guy was on Buck Rogers, BSG 1980, and voiced numerous animation Superman and Batman adventures. That is true. He also played the president, the senator, then president on 24, the show I used to watch. Yes, I used to torture myself with 24 like a idiot. For some reason. So, but yes. That was Dennis Haysbert on there. Also on that great show, Time and Again. Or was it Now and Again? I keep forgetting one of those disposable titles, but a great show. Great actor, by the way. He was a great actor. Well, what are you gonna do? Let's see. What will we talk about tomorrow night on the Clubhouse? Max says, bring back Data and Lore and Lol to P Hard. They probably were. They probably written in as the super android terrorists. They probably will. You never know. They'll probably bring him back. 24 back when it was still good. Yeah, J.D. Lewis, the first couple of years of 24 was pretty good. Then it just became the 24. All right. Did anyone else watch 24? That show, I guess it lasted about what, maybe 10, 11 seasons, maybe 11, right? Then they did some sequels to show somebody else, but okay. Maybe about 11, 12 years, 24 lasted. Maybe 11. They went through 20 presidents. I mean, they had, I'm not kidding about 20, but they had about like 5 or 6 presidents. I mean, the most dangerous job in the world in the 24 universe was president. You did not have a chance. Jack Bauer was going to get your ass killed, and then he was going to avenge you, all right, but you'd still be dead. Phantom Outsider, that's a good idea. Tomorrow, how Troy was denied the opportunity to mess up Lake 7. I got to try to remember. I'm going to definitely try to remember that. And Phantom Outsider, I've written it down. I hope I can remember that because Raquel will get a kick out of that. Max says, I watched the first season of 24. It was enjoyable, but very flimsy. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I watched all like something like 11 seasons of it, and it wasn't even any good past the first couple of seasons, and I kept watching it because it became a tradition on my old show for us to beat up on every episode. I like when the Canadian guy whose dad was a pod person on Hawkeye and MASH cut the guy's head off and put it in a bowling bag in 24. Yes, that was the first season when Jack Bauer cut a dude's head off, but the guy was really bad. But it jumped the shark for me around season 4 or 5, and then I kept watching it, and then it became sort of a back many years ago on this show when it was on a different network, I should say, on Blog Talk Radio. A buddy of mine we were forcing ourselves to watch it just so we could tear it to pieces. Yes, well, who didn't love Elisha Cuthbert? Pat S. She was lovely. Lovely. I love her. Yeah. Well. What can you do? Whack. But the show got really bad. In the first season, says Max Redstone, Jack Bauer was in the back of a limo and threatened to shove a towel down a guy's throat so he could pull out his stomach lining and give him and leave him to die for a week. That was badass. Oh, Jack Bauer. That was the thing that was what made the show cool, is to watch how Jack Bauer was going to mess people up the next, and he was badass. And he went after the bad guys. It's funny because I never really liked Kiefer Sutherland until I watched this, and he was pretty likable in that, but never realized what a little runt he is because they didn't film it. They filmed it where you couldn't really tell, but he's also just kind of a kind of a jerk off, really. But well, my friends, I've kept you here long enough with nothing. I got nothing. I just had no topic. Just hung out and blew things out of my stupid skull at you and bored you the tears, and I'm sorry for that, but I appreciate you being here and hanging out with me. You're always fantastic. It's always great of you to be here. And of course, tomorrow night it'll be a lot more fun and a lot more lively because I will have Raquel here for sure. And I think Mark D will be with us for a bit. Is that the case, Mark? I hope you'll be here. And so we will have a great show for you next. Let's see. Let me do it that proper way. Tomorrow night on Clobberin's Clubhouse, we will have fun, frolic, and frivolity for all. And then Saturday night Star Trek, starting season 6. 4 more episodes to be reviewed. Looking forward to this one. And let's see here. And that's about all I got to say about that. I want to thank you all so much for being here tonight. Hey, it was a nothing show, but you all made it special just by hanging out with me, my friends. And I really do appreciate it. What's the matter, Jill? Relics. I don't know why I didn't realize we were doing that episode. Oh, well, yeah. Well, thank you, Terrell72. Really appreciate you being here, sir. Steve Mitchum, thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you. And thank you all who were here tonight. And please, of course, I put the link to my wonderful first officers, Raquel's works, and I'm going to play her. What I'll do is I'll play her little commercial like I always do, and then we will get out of here. So thank you all again so much. We will all see you tomorrow night. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. You've been fantastic. You put up with me when I don't even have a topic, and I really appreciate it. You're fantasticness. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your night. And clobber on, clobberers. Canadians, buddy!